11 flash drives exist out there. Someone has them by the name of Courtney Burgess, and we're going to talk about it. Now, on Thursday, Courtney, a music executive that's been in the industry for the last 35 years, testified in front of a grand jury. Some of the things that he had to tell them are very, very interesting, and a lot of it he revealed on a recent true crime podcast. Diddy Combs is still in jail in New York awaiting something else to happen. He's trying to get bail. He's trying to, they issued the gag order. He's trying this, he's trying that. And now Courtney has come forward with information on what was on those drives. So Courtney comes on this podcast and he really spills the tea. He really talks about Kim Porter's relationship with Tupac before Diddy and all of these other secrets that he's basically saying he's tired of it and he's coming forward. Now, how they got the drives in the first place, his house was not raided, but he was in so many words, subpoenaed when word got around that he had possession of these flash drives given to him by Kim Porter herself. Courtney says that he has had enough of the industry's lies, betrayals, and secrets. And he even hinted at situations with DMX, Fatal, and some other major producers. Eek. There were some serious allegations. They're unsettling. And it includes celebs in twisted situations. We all know that Kim Porter kept notes, and we thought that the version of her manuscript book that ended up on Amazon is the book, but it turns out there's a second version, and this version, Courtney explained, was more rated R, whereas the version that we know of is more rated PG. Says that in the unpublished version of this book, there are some claims in it that are very dark, where it describes some incidences where loyalty was often sacrificed for fame and power. At times, Kim Porter wanted out, but she felt scared. And she notes that other celebrities felt the same way from Diddy, often feeling trapped and scared. He would threaten with blacklisting if they come out, and Lord knows what other threats. This is according to Courtney, who kept talking in the podcast and opening up about his experience. He talked about celebrities being under contract that Diddy would control just about every portion of their life, down to what they looked like, what they wore, who they dated, who they were seen with, and so on. He also mentioned a group of powerful industry people who were forced to keep these secrets, but also supported Diddy. We're talking big executives, promoters, other big artists. They had each other's backs per se, ensuring that their network was kept together. And here's where it gets really disturbing. He claims that some artists, including major stars, were offered a fame, but at a cost. He says that there were favors expected, and those who refused were met with serious retaliation. Projects were dropped, reputations tarnished, everything you could expect, Diddy had control of. And it didn't just come down to the contracts that they signed. They were actually threatened and harassed. Some celebrities were made to feel that they couldn't speak out or risk anything without risking everything. The insider says that the culture of this fear kept a lot of people silent for decades. If you think about it, it makes sense why so many stories went unheard. He brought up the word gatekeepers, powerful executives who would approve or deny people to climb to the top. They had gatherings, allegedly, where certain favors were exchanged. And in the attendance, they were expected to follow along if they wanted to stay on the good side of the industry. Music, the fashion, to all across the genre, you either played along or you stepped aside. Hidden tunnel, secret meetings. There was a lot talked about in this 1 hour podcast. Now, Courtney says that he has held on to all of these things for years. He's saying that he held on to footage, emails, and signed documents that allegedly outlined online agreements that would make even the strongest of hearts' jaws completely drop in shock. If he has had all of this for years, and I'm sure he has, otherwise he wouldn't have been subpoenaed to testify in front of the grand jury, why didn't he come forward with it before? He kept these things for years, but during these years, so many other people, men and women, adults and children, were raped, sodomized, humiliated, and trafficked. Jay-Z, Clive Davis, Bieber, Snoop are just some of the names that he dropped during this podcast. He even showed the podcaster photos, so the podcasters have seen photos from the drives. Courtney says he wants to come forward with more with more on what's on the drive, but he wanted everybody to know that he has been threatened by lawyers, telling him to be careful about what he releases. This is high-stakes stuff, and according to him, a lot of powerful people are getting nervous. Now, Courtney says he is working with a legal team to make sure that all of this evidence sees the light of day. But what does this mean for the big celebrities whose names will be brought forth as a part of having everyone see the evidence? This is a story that could reshape the music industry as we know it. We could see indictments, lawsuits, and finally, some justice for those who have been wronged. But it could also mean a complete upheaval with executives, artists, and insiders all forced to reckon with the truth. By the way, today is P. Diddy's 55th birthday. I'm sure his meals in prison aren't as nice as the one he would have on the outside during his birthday. Boo-hoo, says no one ever. He is due to start trial on May the 5th, 2025. What will happen next? What will be the other names released that could be on those drives? What names will we never see because they are going to settle, obviously, out of court in an effort to keep their name out of the spotlight? What do you think? Make sure you bookmark this so you can find your way back.